I just thought we started smelling skunks, but extremely strong.
We started to smell sort of a skunky odor some mornings, and at first I actually thought it was an actual skunk.
There was a period of about 6 months when we just thought, well, there were more skunks around this neighborhood than we've ever experienced. That's how naive we were.
What we started noticing is that the valley started reeking of pot. This smell was much more invasive, much more intense, much more like high impact than just one dead skunk on the road.
One day, we started hearing a hissing sound, and we learned that hissing sound was actually a new system that was supposed to eliminate odor. And over the next 3 years, my husband's asthma started to become a daily occurrence, where no matter how much medication he took, and he wasn't able to breathe when he was at home.
I've got respiratory problems, and it exacerbates my difficulty in breathing.
Right after I retired from the nonprofit field, I developed cancer, and you're locked in a house with that smell and that stench, and you just get out of hospital. I don't know any other city in the world has this many farms in such a small town.
Nobody in the county said, hey, maybe we should find out what impact there might be on these very close neighbors.
There's this stench in our house, and I have no idea what damage it might be doing to us and to our children and grandchildren on the same property.
And then my young grandson has asthma, so we couldn't invite them up anymore. I didn't see my grandchildren for 3 years. You know what that feels like? It's devastating. They were taken away from me by our supervisor here and by the dealings with the county.
The only way anything is going to change is if we put actual hard science towards protecting the health and well-being of the lungs of young people, children, elderly, immunocompromised people.
I walked around the high school one time with a reporter, and he said, this stench is terrible. How do you live with it? I wish I could bottle it, because you have to really be here to see the effect it has on you.
The county says, there's a process, and while this process is going on and on for years, these growers are raking in millions of dollars per acre while we wait for the process to play itself out with no assurance that we're ever going to have any improvement in the quality of our air.
There has been, in my view, a deliberate attempt from our top county government has completely eschewed their obligation to protect and defend the health and well-being of this county.
I don't trust any of the people representing us in what they say. I question their motives, and I just don't think we can put any faith in what they're telling us.
I spoke personally with Doss Williams and explained that my husband had asthma, and he promised us that he would work with the neighboring growers. None of that ever happened.
If Santa Barbara County had followed the models of other places, for example, Denver, or even other counties in California like Humboldt County, Santa Cruz County, all of those areas put air quality controls into their cannabis regulations. They baked that in.
We sold the house 2 months ago. That was my home for 24 years. It actually got so bad we couldn't stay there any longer. It's sad now when I look at the pictures of my house that we lost, because of all of this. It's just really sad.
And then some of the supervisors kept saying, well, we don't smell anything. The only time I knew a supervisor that came down here was the one from Goleta. I'm at a friend's house in my complex, and I go to the door with her. She was leaving, and this supervisor comes up, and I said to him, Greg, what are you doing here? He said, well, I've come to see, to talk to the neighbors about the cannabis, how they feel about it. And I said, well, let me show you where these farms are. No. And he wouldn't, and he went away. He didn't come to my house to ask me, but he did go to some of the neighbors. He wrote a letter and said there was no smell. The board of supervisors, we've had meetings there where we standing room only. Mostly when you go to these meetings, other people stand up from up north and they say, we don't want to become like Carpinteria.
I'm hopeful that if shown better solutions or given a carrot to choose better solutions, that this smell problem can be so 2020, right? Remember when it reeked in Carpinteria? Oh my God, I'm so glad we got that taken care of.
If I can know that it's safe, what they're using to control it, and if I don't have to smell it, and I can open my windows again and go outside in my yard, that would be a happy ending.
We're not against cannabis. All we want is clean air. Clean air. Is that much to us?